kind of prepping for this and over the weekend, and I actually saw where Kevin was quoted. Kevin Plawecki, a graduate in 2009 here from Westfield, who's with the Mets, and we're going to talk with here shortly. And so I'll be honest, like he and I haven't talked extensively about this, and I wouldn't have said that he was huge into the mental game in high school, but he is now apparently. And so that's what really sparked this, and I thought, why not talk to Kevin? So I talked to Kevin, and he was available, so he's actually on Skype, and we'll talk to him in just a second. But before that, I had this put together, and I just wanted to go real quick through it. I think a huge thing in competing at a high level is having your mind right. Okay, and so as I went into this, I kind of, how do I want to go about this? And I decided to call it kind of key mindset qualities of successful players, because I think you can play. There's got to be a reason if you look at the professional level. I mean, they are all extremely talented people, and if you ask me, my opinion, what often sets those talented people apart is what's between the ears and their approach to things. And so just try to condense this into a real quick version, because we'd rather listen to Kevin than me for sure. If you want to hit the first one real quick. I put it into four kind of qualities that I feel are present in a successful athlete. Successful athletes are persistent, they're adaptable, they're competitive, and they're tough-minded. If I have a player, I guarantee if you ask any of the coaches here, if they have a player that has these qualities, and you have enough of them especially, that's when you do really great things. Really great things. And so just real quick, go to the next one. Persistent, okay? Persistence is simply the quality of always continuing to move forward. It is continuing regardless of setbacks, to just keep going after your objective, even when you are absolutely beaten down. Found that quote and I love it. I think it describes persistence really well. I've got this clip. I don't think it's going to play. Is it? If you scroll over, no. That's right. Go back one. It was a little. It's from the second Rocky. Creed's out. I love the Rocky series. Rocky, the whole character, I believe, is really wrapped around this quality. All right. He wasn't the most talented boxer. He really probably in most circles in the movie would have said, he's not this great skilled boxer. He just wanted it more than anybody else. And it's a scene where Duke, Apollo Creed's trailer, for all you guys here, that's like the character in the movie now, his father, right? Old. And so he's talking to him, and Apollo Creed beat him in Rocky 1. If you've seen Rocky 1, right? He beats him, but man, he just has to take him to the rails to do it. And he wants a rematch with him, and the trainer comes to him, and he's like, I've never seen, I just remember, I wish the quote or the thing would play, because it says, I saw you beat this man, and yet he kept coming. Okay? And that's what I say. Think about a team. What are the teams that you dislike playing the most? For me, it's those teams that you know that when you hit them, right, they're going to hit back, that they aren't going to die. They're going to be persistent. Okay? And that's what I think happens within it. Now, in the off season, okay, I think persistence looks a little different. If you go to the next one here, I came across this. Any boxing fans? I'm on a boxing kick here. Okay, the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight was kind of disappointing to most people, right? Everybody kept reading things saying that chased him around, did all this, and that it wasn't a good fight, because as fans, boxing fans, we want to see the knockout. But what boxers are really trying to do, right, they do something called work the cut. Okay? They're trying to land jabs early and try to cut their opponent open. All right? And then they're going to spend those rounds after that trying to work on that cut and get them to swell. Okay? If they can get that eye to swell, then that creates knockout opportunities later. And I told our players a couple weeks ago that's really what our off season is like. 2/3 of us probably in here right now, we're in the off season because we've got the winter sports going on. In the off season, right, it's about the process. We're just trying to get a little bit better every day. We can get 1% better every day. That compound effect over time is going to be great. If you ever, I don't have time to go into it, but Pat Riley did something with the Los Angeles Lakers in the 80s called the 1% rule. Really cool on this and the compound effect of just in certain areas. If you're a basketball player, maybe you make 80% of your free throws, right? If we can get 81% in that category, get 1% better there, and in another category get a little bit better there, that compounds, and if everybody's doing that, the compound effect of that is great, and great things happen out of that. And that's really what we're trying to do in the off season now. Is we're just in that mode. We're competing daily, but we're just working to get better, and we're going to be persistent at that. Okay, next one real quick. I think successful athletes are adaptable. Okay, they're able to adapt to different situations and gather and process new information quickly. Okay. We have a saying that we always do. There's a lot of times I'm sure our players are kind of like think I'm this disorganized mess, which sometimes is probably true, but other times it's not. Okay, I'm a big believer in figuring it out. All right, I don't lay things out for people because I think successful people have adaptability. Okay, and so we tell there's a lot of times baseball players will tell you that at the end of the day, in baseball we have to clean up the field and do all that, and we'll just say, all right, you guys got 3 minutes. If you don't have it, we got X on the line, and we say go. And it's like a Chinese fire drill, right? Everybody running everywhere trying to figure it out. And, the teams that we've had that are really adaptive, they do great at this. The ones that aren't, man, we never make time, and we're having to, put something on the line, okay? Real quick, go to the next one real quick, but only hit once, yeah. If you were to draw this example of adaptive here, using 4 lines, and if I had more time, I'd have you connect the dots. And if you just look at it, okay, trying to connect all the dots with just 4 lines. Can you see how you would do it? It's kind of tough. But if you hit the button, you got to go outside the box. Right? You can connect it with 4 lines, but we sometimes get so trapped and staying inside the box, and I think a big part of being adaptive is thinking outside the box, right? We see how things have always been done, but I'll tell you what, sometimes the great players, the great, really successful people, figure out how to step outside that box and find a new way of doing something at a higher level. Okay, go to the next one. I think they're really competitive. When I think of competitive, I always think of Michael Jordan. You guys probably have only been able to watch him in videos, but one of the most, if you read stories, when I was kind of looking at this, man, I saw an article that said like the 18 examples of Michael Jordan's competitiveness. Just Google that sometime. It was amazing. And he basically was in a pro-am golf outing, and he bet a fan $500 that he could put it on the green from there, and he beat him. He got $500. He took it from the fan too. I mean, guy's worth billions. He takes it from the fan. All right. He was highly competitive. He was really sick in Game 5 of the '97 NBA Finals. Trainers told him he wasn't able to go, but he was visibly weak. If you ever go back and look at that game, for us coaches, we probably remember it, a lot of us, but it was impressive. So just that desire to win or be the best at something, and then the last thing here we're going to go to, click one more, is just the tough-minded, and that's where this is the quote that I came across that kind of read this in an article as I was looking at things, and came across this, and the idea to talk to Kevin about this. Kevin Pilecki, got him here. We'll go ahead and switch over. I'll let you work on that while I introduce him. So Kevin is a 2009 graduate. Go ahead and, you're going to have to end the PowerPoint, I think, and then pull it over there. Kevin, can you even hear me? Okay, got to plug him in too. All right, we're going to plug you in so they can hear you now. Can you hear me? Does that make it to where you can't hear me?
Speakers are off.
Oh, that would be why. Thank you. Try it again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, now we got you to where we can hear you. All right. So Kevin's a 2009 graduate here of Westfield. He was in June of 2012. He was drafted 35th overall by the New York Mets, and in what I think it's 3.5 seasons in minor league baseball, has made himself and made his major league debut. I think it was April 21st or 20th of last year, and ended up playing most of the season the rest of the season with the Mets and was up and even got to be in the World Series this year. If you followed it, I'm sure a lot of you did. So, yeah, it will get bigger. All right. Let's see if I can figure this out real quick, Kevin, and then we'll.
All right.
There we go. All right. Now we got big, and let's try to turn this around. I'm going to turn around so you can see it.
Okay.
All right. All right. You don't have the dog with you anymore.
Oh, she's right here. She's sleeping with me.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just taking a nap.
Yeah, he's got a Twitter account for the dog, so if you want to follow the dog.
Instagram.
Instagram. I'm sorry, Instagram.
Yeah,
There you go.
the wife does that. I don't, so don't judge it too much. Don't judge it too much.
All right. Well, Kevin, we'll just start out with this. I think you probably heard me say that I wouldn't have guessed that you were huge into the mental game in high school. How has that changed for you? Maybe I missed it, but how has your involvement and I guess buy-in to the mental side of things, taken place throughout your career?
Yeah, no, you didn't miss it by any means. I didn't really believe in the mental side of things really until my later college years, and then mainly when I got to pro ball, and really this past year in the big leagues, because just like anything, the higher you go up and the more you have to adapt, the harder things get, the quicker things start to move on you. It takes a toll on your body, and ultimately it takes a toll on your mind. And it's very important to find any mechanism, whatever it could be for you individually, to slow those things down. And we have in our system with the Mets, we have a psychologist person that travels with us, and they're weird people, but they are very smart, and they really do help you out. And that's their job. And as an athlete, it's important to, like I said, slow things down and make things as simple as possible. And by just doing certain things, for me, it's breathing in certain situations to just slow the moment down is really important for me. And one thing that I wish I would have done sooner in my career, but I didn't really lean on that until things got harder and things got too quick. That's when I realized that maybe I needed to listen to this guy that was telling me to take deep breaths in and deep breaths out. So the sooner I would have done that, maybe the better off I would have been. But for me, that was very important.
Okay, great. Hitters get out more than they get hits in baseball, right? Failure is a big part of the game. It's a part of the game in any sport, but as you know, in baseball, it is a great deal. How do you deal with failing so often?
Well, it goes back to this season again. I learned a lot this past year, and going back, and it's such an easy thing to think about. There's way more to baseball in any sport than just your offensive game. There's defensive side. There's the mental side. There's so much more than just getting a hit or making a play in defense. It goes beyond just doing one single thing in a game, whether it be that game or the next game. It all evens out eventually. It's hard to see the big picture sometimes, but for me, it's important to. I'm gonna talk baseball terms, so I don't know what kind of athletes are in there, but we all know baseball has 9 innings, and there's 2 different 9-inning games for me. There's 9 innings offensively, and there's 9 innings defensively. So I try and separate that, and when I'm not doing well at the plate, I try and do even more and focus more on my defense and make sure that part of my game is doing well. And when I'm having a good offensive, day or even week or even month, and maybe I'm struggling a little bit defensively here and there, I try and not get caught up too much in one thing, and I try and focus on the positive and try and focus on what I can control. And that's just doing my best at the plate every time I'm up there, and then if I get a hit or if I get out, right when I go back out it's a completely different game. It's a new inning. It's time to reset my focus and forget about what happened in the past. So that's something that I learned a lot of this past season.
Okay. I'll ask one more question. If any of you have questions, just raise your hand. Happy to you'll probably have to say it, and I'll repeat it so you can hear it. But you've had a lot of big moments. I know one that jumps out at me. I mean, first, your major league debut, you get 2 hits. You go 2 for 4 in your major league debut. Your first weekend, you're in the Subway Series, and you hit a home run off of CC Sabathia. Probably couldn't have scripted it too much better for the start to your career. But I know there's also been tough moments. There's been moments where you failed. How do you respond when you have that moment where maybe it didn't go the way you wanted to?
Yeah, it's hard. And that first week in the big leagues, I was, my first game, like you said, I went 2 for 4. So I said, hey, this is going to be easy. This is a nice start to what I, want to be a great career. The following weekend, I like you said, hit my first home run in Yankee Stadium. And I'm like, all right, this is really good. I'm really doing it now. And, by the season's end, it wasn't the numbers exactly that I had dreamt of, being the first season in the big leagues. But more than numbers-wise, I learned so much throughout the season. The up and down roller coaster ride. It's easy to get high when things are going well, and it's easy to get really low when things aren't going very well. So it was important for me to stay even keel when things weren't going right. Continue to try and learn. Continue to listen to my coaches. Continue to listen to the other players that have been there before. Veteran guys who've been in the big leagues for 10 to 15 years. It was a learning experience, and I had to take a step back from my personal. Obviously, we all want to do good every single day and have a great impact initially in this and that. But now that I've been able to sit back on this past season, I'm very happy as to my willingness to learn and to adapt and to listen to those around me. So that was important. And you're going to have seasons where you do really well. You're going to have seasons where you don't do as well as you think you should. I mean, if you hit 300, you're going to be mad because you didn't hit 310. If you hit 250, you're going to be mad because you didn't hit 270. So, I mean, you're always going to want to do better. But it's just a matter of looking at the big picture and continuing to work hard and learn every day. And a big thing for me, I'm all about hard work. And if I walk into that locker room after the game and I know I gave 100%, and my dad's one to give a lot of credit for this as well, because he never got on me for having a bad game. He'd always get on me if I didn't run a ball out hard at first base, or if I was lazy, if he noticed me not playing the game hard. And a lot of credit goes to him for that. And so now, after my games, I kind of, just go in my head and even still talk to my dad after every game. We talk about, did I play the game hard? Did you do the best you could? And that's all you can do. So, it's such a cheesy little line, but still today, and I think that even back in high school and growing up, it goes the same way.
Okay, great. Any questions? Anybody? Do we need to wrap up here? 10 more. Okay. No questions? Okay, I got one more here. Oh, do have one. Where?
I got one right here.
Okay. And I'll come to you next.
As you look back to high school, you were a great leader at this school. But as you look back, are there things that you wish you would have done differently to be even a better leader?
Could you hear that?
A little bit.
Okay. This is from Mr. Tebb. He said, even here in high school, you were a really good leader. Is there anything, in looking back in what you know now, that you wish you knew in high school, essentially? If you were to go back and talk to your high school self, what would you say on the topic of leadership?
Yeah, like you're a great leader, but
Yeah.
now I think, man, I wish I would have done this.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, you can right here. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess I wouldn't have taken things, for granted really, and I didn't to a certain extent, but I mean, I think we were very fortunate to have such a great group of guys, and I was lucky enough to be with the group of guys that I grew up with, just like you all, growing up playing ball with, ever since you were little, but it goes by so quick, and I know you probably hear that from all your coaches. It goes by really quick. I mean, heck, my freshman year was 10 years ago, and it feels like yesterday. would have done that a little bit more. Not to say that I didn't, but you know, I just would have, you know, that's one thing that I wish I would have done maybe a little bit differently. But
Okay. I had another question over here.
How do you block out all the outside distractions for an event like as big as the World Series?
Okay. Could you hear that?
how do you block out the distractions?
Yeah, all the distractions for like a big event, say like the World Series, or when you're making your Major League debut, or you're playing in the Subway Series. What do you do to minimize those distractions?
Well, I wish I would have done a better job of that this year, and I didn't. As we all know, Twitter, Instagram, all this stuff, people can post whatever they want, direct message you. Well, I guess not direct message you, but just kind of like mention you, I guess. And it was my fault for looking at all that stuff, because some of it can be good, and especially in New York, for those of you who aren't familiar, a whole lot of it's bad. And it's a very hard market to play in front of. And you have so many people that have their own opinions, and it can go to your head. It really can. And and that's one thing this year that I'm going to do. I'm going to delete my Twitter off my phone, so I can't even look at it. But right now I have it just because I learned a lot of off-season moves and stuff. But during the season this year, I'm going to delete the app off my phone, so I don't even have access to it. And I think that'll help. But it can be very difficult to channel, just stay in your lane rather than listening to the outside world, because you have a bad game, you go in, you got people cussing at you, saying you're terrible, this and that on Twitter, and the next game you want to do more. And whenever you try and do more, it most of the time isn't going to work out for you. And that's a little bit what happened to me this year. And I can only blame myself, so I got to learn from it. And I'm gonna, this year I'm gonna take a different approach to the whole social media stuff.
Is there anything that you do, say within a game, well, you got a big game, you played in the Big Ten championship game, you played in a lot of other big games throughout your career. Is there anything within the game that you do to kind of slow the game down and maybe get rid of some of those distractions from within a game? Is there anything within a game?
Yeah. Like I'll go back to breathing. The breathing technique. If you watch any of the games, watch any at bat of mine, you'll notice I take a huge deep breath in and a huge breath out before the first pitch comes into see me. So that is our guy, our weird guy. Is, he says to breathe in for 6 seconds, and 6 seconds is kind of a long time if you try it, and then blow out for 6 seconds. And that just helps your heart rate slow down. It helps your mind kind of refocus, and it helps the game just kind of take a breather on you. So not even at bat. Sometimes when I'm catching, or if there's a tough situation, or if there's a guy on second and third with 1 out, and the fans are into it. It's crazy, and we got a curveball coming, and I got to block the ball. I just take a deep breath, just to be prepared for anything. So it can come at any moment, whether it be football before you run a play, or whether it be baseball before you throw a pitch, or before anything. Just to calm your nerves, to calm your body down is really, really important. And the older I've gotten, and the more I've played, the more I've realized that.
Okay, great. I got a question in the back. Yeah.
How do you get into that mindset before a big game? Like that mental mindset where you're kind of relaxed, you're focusing on the game.
Okay.
How do you get into that?
Did you hear that? Probably not.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Basically, what do you do? This is before the big game, right? Is there anything before a big game that you do to kind of get into the mental mindset that you want to be in?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I say a routine. I mean, we all. I don't know how big you guys are on routines, but for me, it's all about routine. So if I get out of my routine a little bit, I have a certain time where I'll take a shower before the game, and I'll eat a certain type of food at this time. I'll go out and stretch at this time. I'll throw at this time. So it's all about routine with me, and that helps me prepare to get ready. Along with the night before, I'll go over certain stuff to just make sure I'm prepared and make sure I'm prepared on the other team. I mean, the more prepared you are, the less nervous and the less, the more equipped you are for the game, and that's really important. So I'm a big routine person. I know it's a little bit harder in high school and stuff, but I think we can all find a routine that fits us best. and that's something that has helped me be prepared for games.
Any other questions? All right, got one here. You were, I think it was 3.5 years that you were in the minor leagues, 4 years, close to that. So there was that time, and I can remember talking to you that you were just ready to get your shot. How did you stay patient and positive and hungry while you tried to reach, that goal of getting to the major leagues, and how do you even now do that as you try to reach the goals that you have in the big leagues?
Yeah, it's a process, and every day I try and be positive, not only in sports but just in life. Really, now that I'm married and no kids yet, but I just try and be positive, in any outlook, because there's the life that we live is so sudden, and moves can happen overnight. So it's important to stay positive, and just along this 3.5 year process before I got there and got my chance, it was just about learning every day and listening to my coaches and just trying to be the best I could that day, and just staying patient with it too, and just having some faith, and knowing that hopefully the day would come, and when I finally got my chance, I just wanted to be ready for it. And it's a hard process, but it's one that went by really quick. Like I said, my freshman year was 10 years ago, but when I got drafted out of college, it feels like yesterday, and it's already been 3.5 years. So it's just important to take it one day at a time, continue to learn, and stay positive, and just have fun along the way. That's the most important thing, is just having fun.
Okay. Mr. Davis has one.
Kevin, coaches can be very demanding and ask a lot out of you. What approach do you take to keep your mental framework straight while trying to meet those demands?
Can you repeat the second half of that?
Yeah. Yeah. So coaches can be really demanding. What do you do to keep? Say it again one more time.
Keep your mental framework. So what do you do? What approach do you take to deal with those demands?
What approach do you take in dealing with those demands, the really demanding coaches and things like that?
Well, it's good to have coaches that demand a lot from you. You should want that as a player and as a person, and at times it can be overwhelming and overbearing and almost annoying. But I've been fortunate enough to have great coaches that hold you accountable, and not only on the field, but in life in general. And that's helped me, to get to where I am today. And at times, in practice, whether it be, high school, college, even pro ball, you're just like, why am I doing this today? And even now, I still do it. But it's important to know that everybody has your best interest. And, even through those times where you don't think it's worth it, looking back, it definitely is. And, it's something that's very important. And like I said, it goes beyond just the... Alex, help me out. Just the sports field for me, it goes to life. Coach Bunnell, not only in the baseball field, but in general, outside of it as well.
Okay. Probably about time to wrap up. Yeah. All right, Kevin. First, thank you for giving up part of your day. I know we got them kind of in between workouts and worked out, so we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Why don't you guys show them your appreciation? This is difficult for me talking to you guys, so I hope I helped you out a little bit. You did great. We just appreciate, and we'll be following you, of course. Got a lot of fans here in Westfield, as you know. So.
All right.
Thanks
for having me.
Hey, thanks. We'll see you, bud.
Okay, quickly before you go, tomorrow I guarantee there's going to be some passion in here. Coach O'Neill's going to deliver the phrase of the day, and Coach Weimer, another assistant from wrestling team, they will be getting after it. You do not want to miss that. We'll see you tomorrow. Please stack the chairs on your way out. Thanks.